Guys, I caught a limiting belief that I have. I have been working through my limiting beliefs for years now, journaling them out. Basically, a limiting belief is a thought or a belief that keeps us from achieving our goals. It's a mental barrier that restricts your potential or your actions. And some of the ones that I had in the past were I felt like whenever times were really, really good, that it couldn't last long, things had to crash, like things like that. I've been thinking lately a lot about minimalism, cutting down my expenses so I can be less stressed. And I found myself telling one of my entrepreneur friends that I've never met somebody who has made it really big or become really, really successful who didn't put in just years of kind of suffering and really, really hard work, but a lot of suffering, a lot of strife. And I realized after I told her that, because we were commiserating about some things that, just some hardships, like business is hard. We were commiserating about that. And both of us really, really believe in the power of manifestation. We're big believers in our own potential. And so we were having this conversation. And all of a sudden, I was like, I need to check myself. I need to just be aware of what I'm saying and see if there's something in there that isn't serving me. And this morning, when I was journaling about it, I realized it is a limiting belief that you have to sacrifice years, if not decades of your life in order to reach certain levels of success. And what came to me was, in my business and in my life, if I make decisions from a connected place, then I can achieve my dreams with ease and grace. And it just hit me so, like all of a sudden, that when I'm making decisions from a place of frenzied, chaotic, situation. So for most of my business life, I've been hanging on for dear life and it has been chaotic. I wouldn't get things organized before I would go for the next level. I would just go for it. And there's a superpower in that for sure. It's kind of like an entrepreneur way. But I realized that if I'm able to be connected, and by connected, if you're spiritual, you can call it connected to the universe. If you're not spiritual, then you can call it having mental clarity, being in flow, able to make those really, really good decisions because you feel good. You're making decisions from a place of feeling good instead of a place of survival or like scarcity or fear. And so what I realized was my thoughts were not incorrect. My thoughts were, let me decrease my standard of living because I don't need all this stuff. Let me make it so that I can be free and not have this giant overhead hanging over my head. It wasn't wrong to think that way, but I was going about it in a way that wasn't that helpful. And what I mean is, when I'm decreasing chaos, when I'm putting in healthy boundaries, when I build my life so that I have the time, the brain space to take care of myself, then I can make those decisions from a connected place. So my gut or my intuition saying I need to minimalize things wasn't far off. It's just that I think I was thinking about it in a way that was a limiting belief, which is I've never met anybody who got somewhere without just sacrifice, right? And so what I wrote down this morning was decisions from the lack, scarcity, frenzied, chaotic place will only get me more chaos. And so from that place, yes, if I'm working and I'm building my businesses and I'm building my wealth from that place, then yes, it'll just be this continuous matter on matter, like just hustling, working like crazy. When I started this most recent business, I worked so hard, like when I was first starting it. I just all hours, but also it was because I had gotten myself into a place where I had to make it work, and that never feels good. So what I'm saying is, if you're feeling this way, if you're like, I want to build these big giant things, but I don't want to sacrifice myself in order to do it, I think the first thing is, number one, let's organize your life. Like, organize your life, make sure you're living within your means. And I know that there's so many people who teach, like, just spend the money. Like, you can manifest the money coming back to you. And I've done that. I've been there. I have increased my standard of living nonstop, and I've always been able to make it work. But I don't like it when things go wrong and things are chaotic, and then all of a sudden I'm also stretched too thin. I just don't like it. So this is what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. And right now I'm actually there. So I was journaling my next chapter in my life and what I wanted. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm already there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So financially, I'm good. I have time. I have space. And I'm starting a new business inside of my virtual assistant business. I'm super excited about it. And I've been journaling a lot about it, thinking a lot about it, and realizing that building this from an aligned place, I don't have to be in that founder mentality again, where I'm just suffering and striving and trying to survive. I can build this into something big without sacrificing myself. I really, really can. And I just have to make those decisions from that aligned place. Get aligned first, and then make the decisions. And by getting aligned, I mean feeling that good feeling and having the space and the clarity to make the decisions. That is what I'm talking about. So what I wrote this morning before I meditated is, I said, I will ask in my meditation about the balance between dreams and hard work. Perhaps it is a limiting belief that I have to sacrifice to achieve big dreams. Maybe I just have to be organized, methodical, dreamy, and let the things go that I have no control over. Perhaps these big players just don't sweat the small stuff. And that's literally what I wrote. And then I went into my meditation, and it just hit me all of the sudden that I can build my dreams without sacrificing myself. I can have balance. And I just have to make those decisions from a connected place. And so my little thing is, if I make decisions from a connected place, I can achieve my dreams with ease and grace. Meditation is so cool. It is so cool. The things that we get from it are just awesome. And so the definition of grace, in the way that I'm using it, is it's a sense of effortless flow and harmony, and it implies a state of being where challenges are met with poise and confidence rather than struggle or resistance. I've met so many people who have taught me about abundance, and they've taught me about manifestation, and they've taught me about what's possible. However, a little bit deeper look inside of their lives, and I still see a lot of stress and a lot of unease and a lot of chaos. And so if you know of anyone who is here, who has gotten to this place, and I will be one of those people one day. And if you measure success by feeling good and by relationships, I do already feel successful, but I just have some bigger dreams that I'm going for, if you know what I mean. But if you know of anyone that I can follow on YouTube who seems to have done this, I would love to follow them as well and learn more about how they're doing it. I believe it can be done. I've let go of that limiting belief that you have to sacrifice in order to achieve your dreams. I have let that go. And I'm talking about big dreams, like big dreams of the beach house, like taking care of your entire family financially, things like that, like those big, big dreams. And like I said before, I really thought that in order to have those big dreams, I had to sacrifice myself for decades. We are over that now. We are past it. I can't wait to share the journey with you and keep making decisions from a connected place. I would love to hear from you. Can you look back at your life and see when you've been connected and when things flowed and when they haven't? And for me, I'm downsizing my stuff because I don't need it. It's wearing me down. It's a burden. My finances are better than they've ever been. That feels so good. And also, instead of waiting for the reminders to come, I'm getting ahead of things, like little things like you have to do a workers' comp audit for all of your team members, things like that that always were like, oh, surprise, you're late with this, you better get it in. I'm just grabbing hold of all the things that have been chaotic in the past, and they're going to be organized. They're going to happen easily, even taxes, like all of those things, instead of letting them frustrate me, it's all going to be done ahead of time. It's going to be easy. I'm in. And organizing everything, organizing my personal life, and continuing to organize my business, we're there. You can always do better, right? But we're there. That is what's going to free me up to stay connected so that I can make these awesome decisions and I can just write what my dreams are and keep taking the next aligned steps to get there. Instead of me thinking I have these great ideas, but they're just me just like revved up, driving, striving, and having ideas from that place. Yes. And I think my newest business idea, I have lots of business ideas all the time. I think it's a winner and I'm super excited about it. Yes, 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 yes. Whew. I'm going to send a voice note to my friend and kind of correct myself. Girl, I had a major breakthrough because when we were talking, I was like, wait, I think that's a limiting belief when I told you something to the effect of, I don't know anybody who's built something really, really huge and not sacrificed years of their life for it. I said something to that effect. And so I journaled about it this morning and meditated about it. And I just asked before I meditated, I'm like, you know, I want to know about the balance between dreams and hard work. Maybe it's a limiting belief that I have to sacrifice to achieve big dreams. Maybe I have to just be organized, methodical, dreamy, let the things go that I have no control over. Maybe these like big players just don't sweat the small stuff. I really want to know the answer to this. And then when I was meditating, all of a sudden it came to me, if I make decisions from a connected place, I can achieve my dreams with ease and grace. And I was like, that is the difference, because so many times in my life, like when I was just struggling to survive and it was such a grind and I was working like crazy, I was making decisions from like a survival place. And so I realized that my initial thoughts about it aren't terribly far off, because I was thinking, let me decrease my standard of living. Let me just make things more comfortable. And if I make things more comfortable for myself so that I can stay connected to my higher power and so that I can stay in a high vibration, then I'll be making better decisions. And then I can grow my companies and scale my companies from that connected, like good decisions place instead of this lack, scarcity, frenzied place that will just only get me more chaos. So I just wanted to like share that with you and to not apologize, because we never have to apologize to each other, but just probably thank you for bringing that limiting belief out to light, and for being the kind of friend where I can send you a voice note and say, yeah, I feel like I was wrong about this, or I wasn't aligned about this, or this was a limiting belief, or whatever, you know. I hope you're doing amazing, and I can't wait for all the good news from you, because I know it's coming. Bye.